Welcome back to Say Yes to You. I'm Peggy. On the channel, I love talking about our personal development and growth, as well as the more human side to a spiritual development and practice. Earlier in the week, I was watching an Abraham-Hicks video, and I believe I will be able to link it in this video here. But the topic was about, launching these rockets of desire. If you are a follower of Abraham Hicks, then you know. So, launching rockets of desire, and how sometimes we have this desire that's born out of the contrast. We recognize the contrast of our lives, and we launch this rocket. And when we're not there, sometimes it can be so uncomfortable, it can be so painful, even depending on how we're choosing to perceive the current situation and ourselves in that moment. And that really is more metaphysical talk, that's more spiritual talk, but it actually ties into a very grounded practice of being able to understand how our minds work. I am making a direct link between launching the rocket of desire and not yet catching up to that desire and the psychological term of cognitive dissonance. Now, cognitive dissonance is simply an internal battle where we have ideas or beliefs about ourselves that are competing with other ideas and beliefs that we have about ourselves. So, for people who do want a lot more out of their lives, it could be being stuck in a job where what you truly desire is to be working for yourself. It can be being in a relationship or a marriage that for whatever your reasons, you feel that you are wanting it to be in a different form and experience. The ideas are both true for you. You know that what it is that you're wanting, you can definitely have it, you can definitely do it, you can definitely create it. So there's that version of yourself that's out there, and then you're here, and you're paying attention to that new version of you as well as the current version of you. And that discrepancy is that cognitive dissonance. That discrepancy is what has you feeling so uncomfortable and for some people miserable. And as I began to ponder on this, like, okay, this is really something that's based in the profession of psychology. As I began to think about this, I remembered different conversations that I've had over the years pertaining to people who do have desires, people who do have goals, people who do have dreams. Not to say that everyone does it, but there are going to be people, for example, from your high school or people perhaps who even went through college with you and how they view themselves, how they're viewing their lives versus what it is that you've gone on to do or what you desire to do in the future. You can see that discrepancy. When you think about people who grew up in a small town, for example, and you might have person A who says, this is the best thing ever. The way of life is so simple here. I love it here. I want to raise my children here. And you may have a person B who says, I can't wait to graduate high school so I can get up out of Dodge because they just have a vision of how they want to see their lives. They know that there's more to life than what they see in front of them. Can those two people be happy, even though they have different ideas of what happiness is, perhaps? They have different ideas of direction for their lives. The answer is, of course. Of course, they can be happy. And this is something that I used to kind of go back and forth in the discussions I would be involved in. And here's the reason why both people have the potential to be equally as fulfilled, equally as content, equally as charged about their lives. Person A who says, I want to live in Dodge for the rest of my life and raise my children here, the reason that person can be happy with their current status, their current situation is because for them, whatever it takes to be content and be happy, it's already there. From their perspective, they might not even be thinking about what's out there in the big city. They might not even be thinking about what it would be like to meet different people, to have different experiences for them and the way their mind works and the way their spirit is set up. It could just be that this is enough. And that's fine. person B, because they've launched those rockets of desires, because however they were created before they came into a human experience, something in them said, there's more to life than this. And because they have that knowing, there's more to life than this, they're compelled to move forward. And they're not going to be happy, truly happy, unless they move towards it. And that's the difference. Some people are just, we're set up differently. We're set up differently. So for those who've found their way to this video and they know that there's more, they know there's more, they're going for more, but they feel that push and pull of wanting to go for more. I'm not reaching the more, I'm not doing the more, whatever the more may be. The reason we're feeling so uncomfortable in that space is because we're battling internally between what we know is possible, dare I say it, the new version of us that's been created when the rocket was launched. A new version of us was created. Our mind already went out there into the future, so that that future version of ourselves is in existence, is calling us forward. And whatever it is that we're doing in the current, the way that we're thinking, the way that we're behaving, the way that we're feeling, it's not catching up either through, more than likely it's the fear, but it's not catching up quickly enough. So we're being called to this thing and the desire is so strong, us not being in that element is what's having us to be so uncomfortable. So that's what it is. In my next coming videos here throughout the week, I'm going to begin to talk about, well, what can we do? What can we do to, I don't want to say avoid, because all of our feelings are very informative. We're feeling uncomfortable for a reason. And I wanted to put this video out because it's so fascinating to me. It's so fascinating to me. And maybe you yourself who's found this video can't understand why it is that you feel so uncomfortable sometimes. And you're like person B who has to get up out of Dodge and pursue your dreams and go for more. We're uncomfortable for the reasons I mentioned in this video. So I'm going to come out with some practices that we can all use to kind of soothe those emotions and have ourselves in a better position to continue forward, to catch up to the rocket. Now, if you enjoyed that video, if you enjoyed this content, please do go ahead and give my video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment and let me know, what do you think about this? Have you ever considered, if you're like me and the rest of us in the B category, where you're wanting to do more, have you ever considered what it's like to be in that energy of discomfort? Have you ever really stopped and asked yourself, why do I feel so uncomfortable right now? Have you considered cognitive dissonance? Have you considered a gap between the current you and the future you? Let me know what your experience has been when you've been in the interim, in the meantime, between where you are now and where it is that you want to go. So do leave me a comment. If you enjoy this type of content, do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, bye-bye.